a pleasant evening to one and all who have joined in this Vigilance Awareness Week webinar brought to you by the Indian Bank and Hindu Tamil Thisai. At the outset, today being 31st, the birthday of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, it's apt that the Indian Bank has chosen to have this webinar pan India and educate the people to know what how the corruption should be curbed and what we need to follow as a Vigilance Awareness Week is celebrated from 30th of this month to 5th of November. And this is an annual Vigilance Awareness Week brought to you by the Indian Bank. As a part of the outreach program, this webinar will gain significance to the not only to the employees but also to the common public in knowing how and where and how should we plan to or to eradicate corruption. At the outset, we have with us the CBO of Indian Bank, Sri Vishwesh Kumar Srivatsav. Sir, welcome to this webinar. Welcome, sir. Good evening. And he will deliver the inaugural address. We also have the panelist for today, our retired judge, Sri S. Ravi Shankar, who has put in a large number of years in the legal service, and today he has a firm. Sir, welcome to you. Good evening, sir. We also have Dr. Cynthia Lingaswamy, a member of the National Cyber Security. So thank you for accepting to join this webinar, and let us all say no to corruption and commit to the nation through this Indian Bank and Hindu Tamil Thisai webinar. Thank you, madam, for joining in. If I were to start to introduce our CVO of the Indian Bank, he joined the Punjab National Bank as a management trainee way back in 1989. He has a career as a banker for more than 33 years of experience in various aspects of banking. He was working as a group chief compliance officer and till joining Indian Bank as a CBO. He has his educational background in MSc Statistics from Lucknow University. He also has a postgraduate diploma in banking and finance from NIBM. More than that, he is also dynamic because he has multiple tenures as branch managers and work zonal level managers. He has worked extensively in the field of IT vertical, wherein he is involved in office automation, MIS, and branch mechanization. Sir, on this occasion of the Vigilance Awareness Week presented to the public and the Indian Bank staff, it is your privilege and our privilege to inaugurate this webinar and set the context for today's webinar, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Rajkumar. I also welcome Dr. Cynthia Lingaswamy and S. Ravi Kumar, our esteemed guest for this webinar. And to start the entire proceedings of this today's webinar, you must be aware that this Business Awareness Week is being observed from 30th October to 5th November. And this is as per the mandate of CBC that we are holding this Business Awareness Week. And this year's theme is Say No to Corruption, Commit to the Nation. And Business Awareness Week and the 3 months campaign, which prelude this Business Awareness Week, is aimed to involve all stakeholders, including the staff, customers, the general public, and the government, to create a better India. And as part of this campaign, Indian Bank is happy to associate itself to be part of this webinar hosted by uh, Hindu Tamil, and where very prominent personalities are have been invited to share their thoughts on the theme. I, on behalf of Indian Bank, um, uh, am highly uh, obliged to invite them for the webinar. Before the eminent persons share their thoughts, let me share my thoughts on the matter, which represents a practitioner's view. Corruption, in my opinion, is a persistent and pervasive problem, and it poses a significant threat to the development and progress of the nation. And this year's theme is a clarion call for individuals and the institutions to stand together and pledge their commitment against corruption to the nation's well-being. Um, Regarding corruption, I would say that it is a cancer to the society because it eats away the foundation, eroding trust in the institutions, undermine the economic growth, and perpetuate the inequality in the society. So these are some of the issues which we are facing right now. The corruption, it takes many forms, from petty bribery to grand embezzlement, and it exists in various sectors, including government, business, education, healthcare, law enforcement, financial sector, everywhere. Corruption distorts the decision making, it stifles innovation, it leads to misappropriation, misallocation of resources. It ultimately it is the ordinary citizens who pay the price, who suffer the most as they bear the brunt of the poor public services and weakened rule of law. So these are some of the issues with respect to the corruption that we are facing right now. And this year's theme, that is, say no to corruption, commit to the nation, requires a collective effort. It involves citizens, government bodies, uh, businesses, civil societies. Everybody has to be involved in this process, and individuals must pledge to uphold the highest standards of integrity in their personal as well as professional lives. It includes refusing to give bribe. It also includes that we should refuse to engage in corrupt practices, even when faced with the temptation or coercion. It also means reporting corrupt activities whenever we witness them and actively promote a culture of honesty and transparency. Committing to nation means recognizing that a prosperous, equitable, just society is in the best interest of the nation, and it is also in the interest of the citizens also. It means holding public officials accountable for their actions and decisions. Committing to the nation involves fostering an environment where meritocracy and fairness prevail over nepotism and favoritism, where it also means supporting and participating in initiatives that promote transparency, accountability, and good governance. When we talk about vigilance, it is watchful and alert attitude which is required to detect and prevent corruption, which we are part of. It plays a crucial role in ensuring that public resources are used for their intended purposes only, and that decisions are made in the best interest of the nation. Business promotes a culture of honesty and discourage corrupt practices by holding wrongdoers accountable for their action. It is cornerstone of building a corruption-free society. When we uh, when we see the roles of institutions, so institutions, both public and private, have a significant role to play in our fight against corruption. Government institutions should establish robust anti-corruption measures. They should promote transparency and create an environment where whistleblowers are protected. Similarly, businesses should adopt ethical practices and they should implement strong corporate governance and ensure fair competition among themselves. Regarding educational institutions, I would say that educational institutions must instill value of integrity in their students, and civil societies can help by serving as a watchdogs and advocating for transparency and accountability in public life. So there is role for everybody in this fight against corruption. When we talk about banks in particular public sector banks, these are epicenter of fight against corruption. Banks touch upon lives of one and all, and thus through a corruption-free conduct and transparency, they can make significant impression on the lives of all the stakeholders, which include employees, depositors, borrowers, general public, and the government. You must be aware that banks function on trust, and therefore, in order to enjoy the trust of all the stakeholders, including the depositors, that too on continuous basis, they should always focus on maintaining highest standard of ethics and corporate governance. You must be aware that whenever depositors start to feel that the conduct of the bank is not as per the set standards, they start withdrawing money, resulting in run on the bank, and when large banks with long history fail and fade away. So these are very very important truth that is there. And banking regulator RBI has been playing a very proactive role in maintaining high level of corporate governance and operational transparency in all the banks, including public sector banks in India. They have prescribed guidelines with respect to composition of boards, fit and proper criteria for the members of the board. They are also having guidelines with respect to composition and roles of board level and functional subcommittees. They have also put in certain guidelines with respect to identification and reporting of frauds, eligibility criteria, and roles and responsibilities for chief risk officer, chief compliance officer, chief information security officers. In addition to that, the regulator, that is RBI, also conducts risk-based supervision. They issue advisories, and at times they impose penalties on the banks also if they fail to conduct in the manner they want them to. So RBI is aggressively trying to implement a very robust risk and compliance culture across the banks. DFS also has also supplemented their efforts by proposing committee structures in decision making in all government-owned banks. It may be in lending, it may be in other key decision making, but committee structure has definitely incorporated a very good governance structure in the banks. The third important pillar in this corruption-free environment is CBC. And CBC and their arms at government organizations, including PSBs, keep a tab on the vigilance administration. In PSBs, the vigilance administration is headed by the managing director, which is actively supported by the CVOs and the vigilance departments. The vigilance vertical in PSBs have a very good structure, and they intervene through surveillance and preventive and punitive vigilance. They entertain complaints and they get them investigated. Surprise vigilance inspections and in-depth inspections are also conducted of various units, including branches. We also create awareness by engaging with field functionaries and customers and general public also through Gram Sabhas or otherwise also. We also conduct scrutiny and investigations in case of bad loans or uh, one-time settlements also. The procurements are also scrutinized so that the decisions are taken in a proper manner across the bank. You must be aware that banking involves decision making and use of discretionary power very frequently, making which is mainly used during lending decisions. As CVO, on the basis of our past experience, I generally suggest many times suitable policy and technological interventions to bring in more objectivity in decision making. And use of discretions is also made more objective. We see that suitable disciplinary actions are done and suitable penalties are imposed on wrongdoers without fail. We also conduct studies and advise the bank with suitable suggestions to improve the systems and procedures as a part of our preventive vigilance initiative. So these are some of the activities which vigilance administration in banks, most particularly in public sector banks, are being undertaken, and it helps to create a trust in the banks in the eyes of the general public. To conclude that, I would say that say no to corruption, commit to the nation is a compelling theme for Vigilance Awareness Week 2023. Corruption poses a grave threat to the well being of a nation, and it is our collective responsibility to combat it. To do so, we must reject corrupt practices and pledge our commitment to the betterment of nation. A corruption-free society is essential for sustainable development, social justice, and the overall prosperity of a nation. Through vigilance, integrity, and strong commitment to the nation, we can build a brighter future for ourselves and future generations. Thank you. Jai Hind.
So, good evening. Thank you very much for the wonderful inaugural of this year's Vigilance Awareness Week webinar. And if I were to summarize your points, corruption is a very perennial problem, and it isn't in one segment of the society. It is both in public and private. If all of us join together and pull this chariot, I am sure we will have a safer, good, clean India. It's definitely a cancer to the society, sir. You have said, rightly, aptly said on the occasion of the Vigilance Awareness Week. And it is a continuous process. And as bankers, I'm sure the trust that you're going to build in through the ways of being transparent and conduct of the bank will only help its customers be with you, and in the eyes of the public you will be regarded as great and as ever as clean. The ethical practices that you had mentioned should be followed not only during this week but all through the year to see a great India forward. You have rightly aptly said it is not only the banking sector needs to be done, it's all the players in this economic forum, be it education institutions, be it hospitals, be it public, wherever we are. It is our responsibility to weed out this corruption. So thank you for setting this note, and I'm sure said no to corruption and commit to the nation through this webinar. I'm sure the viewers will take the message home, and also through the columns of the Hindu Tamil Thisai, we will spread say no to corruption and commit to the nation. As you have already said, the outreach programs will only envisage directions to remove corruption. And this year is the third consecutive year that we are joining hands with you in this webinar, apart from the outreach programs conducted in schools for the students and as well as the teachers. Indian Bank rightly wants to touch all its stakeholders in getting out or weeding out corruption. Trust will always be there, and in general public you need to have this trust between both of us to have a better India. Well said, sir. Thank you for your inaugural speech. May I now introduce to you our second speaker of the day, Dr. Cynthia Lingasamy. She is a member. Welcome, madam. Indian Bank and Hindu Tamil Thisai would like to welcome you to this webinar of this year's Vigilance Awareness Week. Thank you for agreeing to be one of the speakers at a short notice. Thank you, madam. To brief about madam's profile, she is a member of the National Cyber Security Research Council, a very research council which wants to have, because of the increasing cyber usages. I'm sure this research will enable most of us not to get into bad practices and also to curb bad practices. She is not only the member of a National Cyber Security Research Council but also an professor, associate professor at the NIT Trichy, National Institute of Technology, Trichy. She has been a passionate lover of Tamil, and her passion was Tamil, but parents' passion made her doing engineering, and I'm sure she is balancing both between passion and profession. Madam, your research papers have paved way to curb the cyber crimes. May I now invite you to give the lecture today on the August of the Dr. Sardar Vallabhai Patel's birthday day and also the Vigilance Awareness Week, second day of this year 2023, on this webinar on cybercrime and corruption.
Thank you for your great welcome, sir. Okay. Here I'm here to speak about what is cybercrime and why it is necessary to report to the corresponding authorities. That is my talk. So first we should know what is a cybercrime. What are all the cybercrime activities? Okay, so cybercrime refers to the criminal activities that are carried out using internet devices, using the networks, computers. Here, one interesting fact is the cybercrime activities can be carried out through the computers, networks, internet, and all the these are all the primary tools, as well as these are all the targets too, right? So these crimes can take various forms and can range from relatively simple activities to highly complex and sophisticated attacks. So we can categorize. There are a lot of the motive is same, right? So but can categorize this one, then you can able to understand what exactly it is. So first thing is hacking. Hacking, you know what is a hacking. So I am the person who is using my laptop, right? So I am the authorized person. I am the only one authorized person to access my laptop, and I didn't give any permission to any other users to use my laptop. But someone is coming and using my laptop or mobile phone without my knowledge, and they are stealing my data. The motive is stealing the data or stealing my personal information, or doing some what criminal activities using my device, and committing any other illegal activities or cyber terrorism too, right? They can use my device for their benefits, right? The benefit may be stealing the data or any other illegal activities. These are all hacking. That is using my device for their benefits. using my system or my laptop without my knowledge. That is hacking. We all know about this. Incidents happen during nowadays, right? And malware. Malware is a second category. In this one is malicious software, is called as malware. That means it's like a virus. We know the term virus, but malware is less familiar, right? Worms, Trojan horse, and ransomware. These are all different kinds of malware. That is one code has been written, the one software has been written for illegal activity or for any abnormal activity. So, spreading the attacks or sending the attacks through this malicious software to the receiver side, and the receiver may click a link, they may download any document or any executable files or anything. From that they may attack once we downloaded that executable file or any attachment of our mail through email or any other links. Once it's clicked, it will be downloaded in our system, and it will start hacking our system, and it will spread um, into revealing sensitive information, like they may call you banks usually taking very necessary actions to avoid this phishing. That is, they may don't share OTP, don't share your credit card or debit card pin numbers. So like this awareness has been already spreaded all over the world, all over India, by RBI and other all other banks. And here, what is the thing is, they may contact you through phone calls or any SMS or email. Right? They may ask you to click the link, or they may ask you to share the OTP or your username, your password, or any financial details. And through this online communication device, they may contact you. The person who already know about these scams won't share these things, but the people who is in a remote side, who doesn't know anything about these scams, they may still they are sharing some their information, and still they are losing their uh, informations, and they are into the they are becoming the victims. That is one thing. And next one is identity theft. That in real time we know the cases like they steal someone's information like certificates, and they replace their names. That someone's certificate, they will include their name, and they forged documents. They create forged documents, and using that forged documents, they are doing frauds. That is identity theft. But in cybercrime, they are stealing your personal information, like credit card data for or any other financial data from your device or from your known network, right? So using that, they will do some fraudulent activities for their financial gain. That is identity theft. The next one is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is harassment, threats, and abusive behaviors towards an individual, like through the social media. If someone is following you for a long period, and they are trying to be a friend of you, and they are trying to become a close one, or they are trying to take your take financial advantages, like that, some other things where they are trying something but you are not allowing them, then it's become an ego clash. Or say they may offended for some any other reason, they started to do these harassments, threats, and abusive behaviors towards you. So this is very irritated behavior, and the victim will become shattered because of this. So it is very it's giving mental torture, not only the physical things. It's fully mental torture. And next thing is denial of service or distributed denial of service attacks. This one is very important about the banking side. You know, you have Indian Bank or any other bank is having a server. So they have the software for their own transactions, like operations of banking or differs. They debit the amount, credit the amount, transfer the amount. So lot of operations are going on at the same time. There are thousands of branches and thousands of employees, lakhs of employees are working. They all are using the computers at the same time. But in that time, while designing the server, they have the developers have setting the limit that at a time you can send 1,000 requests to the server, or 10,000 requests to the server. So apart from that 10,000 request, it will be hanged. You are sending 1 lakh requests at a time, then your server will be hanged. This is a basic setup. So depends upon the operations, or depends upon the applications, whether it is a banking application or university application, whatever it may be, depends upon the application. The primary conditions will be set, that about the limitations, how many requests can be handled at a time. So if instead of 10,000, if suppose we can consider it as a 10,000 request condition, so instead of 10,000, 1 lakh request has been received to the software or banking sector or university sector at a single time, at a unit of time. Then what happens? How the software has been designed to handle only 10,000 requests. How it will face that 1 lakh request? It can't do that, right? So it will be handled. Then in that time, the fraud people or criminals may attack the banking software, and they do some unethical activities, or the motive may be simply freeze the software. So these are all the modes can be anything. Modus operandi can be anything, but the thing is denial of service. So you can't work any request. You can't satisfy, or you can solve any other request instead of this bulk request things. And online fraud, so that is the next thing. Online fraud is like credit card fraud, investment scam, auction fraud. That they may introduce you they may show you a valued, most attractive object or very precious object that it comes to auction. Then you will demand the money, you will pay the money, but you won't get the product at any time. So you won't get it at all. So this is online frauds. So they may ask you, they may approach you with different attractive investment plans. You will hear those plans, and you will be interested in those plans to invest. Then once you invest, they will disappear. So these are all online frauds for financial gain. And intellectual property theft. Intellectual property theft is copyrighted content. If someone is downloading or taking the copyrighted content without any access, without any authentication, there are a lot of OTT online platforms are there. Even you want to watch a movie in suppose Netflix, Prime Video, anything. You want to watch a movie in such OTT platforms, you should get the authentication through the payment, monthly subscription, and then only you can watch it, right? Someone don't want to pay, even they had money, they don't want to pay, means they will simply, nowadays they are simply downloading the movies from Telegram groups. So Telegram is supplying all the movies with immediate effect, with good quality also. In that, these are all intellectual property theft. Whatever it may be, it is a fraud activity, it is a crime. So they are downloading the cracked version of a legitimate software. And many copyright content can be downloaded, or you can get copyrighted content without any subscription or authentication. All are criminal activities only. And online child exploitation is using a minor or involving a minor to and sharing their uh, uh, photos or grooming for sexual exploitation. These are all child exploitation. So it's such a very big criminal activity. Giving the victim will be a child. So the majors or adults can be can come out of depression, after some period of counselings or treatment. But bringing out a child from a depression is a great challenge. So it can't be. So nowadays they are doing very frequently about this. We are knowing that we are getting more and more news about child exploitation. Children are now involved more and more in this sexual exploitation, and it bringing that through the social media only it's happening this much amount, because after this what happening is it's child trafficking, right? If one content is in, so one child is in social media and updating their information, he or she may be innocent, the kid may be innocent, and she's simply uploading their videos or pictures without any knowledge about these background things, background crimes. So they may so nowadays not only children, adults also updating all the information each and every minute in social media, right? I'm going to this hotel, a restaurant, I'm going to eat these things, pizza, and after that we are going to a park, like that. Immediate, each and every time they are updating lots and lots of information. These things, these information will provide a uh, sufficient things to the followers. The followers or stalkers will follow you, and they may misuse or abuse the child. And it leads to the child trafficking. So it's online child exploitation. It should be, we have to give more concentration on this, more focus on this to stop these things. So we have to take more care about our children, what they are doing in their social media. And cyber terrorism, cyber attacks, uh, you know that what is cyber terrorism nowadays. It's like the war become the bio war, and the terrorism has been spreaded through cyber networks, like for their political and ideological goals. They may create the bunch of people, the criminals or terrorists, they may create a fear or and disruption to the among the public for their ideological goals. That is cyber terrorism. And insider threats, what we can say is, if I am working in an organization, I have some contrast with the management or organization, then what I can do, I want to take revenge. I may be suffered by them, or I have my own reason to have a contrast with the management. Then what I can do, I am the employee of that organization, legitimate employee. I have the permissions, I have all the access to access the data, right? So I can use my access, my authentication to take the data, and I can sold this data to another opponents or some other contractors or something idea. Data theft, I can do these things using my legitimate login details, login credentials. That is insider threat. That is, the people who is inside the organization can steal the data and uh, sell it to the contractors or the opponents for their own ego satisfaction or their personal revenge. And the last one is online harassment and stalking. Already we have seen cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is different, harassment is different. Cyberbullying may maybe happen through their own ego clash, but online harassment and stalking, you can address many reasons for these things. So repeated, unwanted, and harmful online interactions that may involve threats and intimidation or invasion of privacy. So you should be careful about the content. What are all the things you are sharing into the cybernet or social media? So you have to limit everything. That is the thing. The unwanted data. So see our WhatsApp group, we want it or we don't want, we can't stop these things, right? So one message, if suppose one thing, one special event is going to be occur means, uh, whether we want it or we don't want it, that is not an issue here. We are getting the same message from hundreds of people about that particular event. We don't want that. We okay, already we know the we may know the incident, or we may know the event, or we may don't want to know about it, right? The sender is not at all going to bother about it. They are simply sending whatever they are getting, simply forwarding. We don't want these, right? So what happened, we are also doing the same. Not only the senders, we are also doing the same. We once we got one information, simply we are forwarding to others. Unwantedly we are creating more and more data, these big data, right? So the providing this and all forward messages, like the same thing we are doing in social media about updating our personal details. Like if I'm going to a park, click 1,000 pictures, 100 pictures, upload it in for Facebook and Instagram, whatever, wherever I am using, what are the social media, all the way you can share your photographs. And I'm going to the next, I'm nowadays they are doing this vlogs, this video logs. What happens now, from morning to evening they are recording all their activities, from wake up from the bed and brushing everything. They are eating whatever they are eating, wherever they are going, everything has been recorded and uploaded in social media. So simply these things are enough to feed the criminals, right? So they can take all your information, and they will follow you, they will abuse you. This is what happening. Finally we are the victims. We uploaded all the information, we only gave all the information, and welcoming the criminals do all those things, all those immoral activities. This is online harassment and stalking. So major these 12 cyber crimes we have categorized. And apart from this, we can have some particular peculiar cases about the individuals. These and all happening through social media. And apart from that, the individuals has to take care of their own information. Care before you share, that is the thing. So some list of activities, like you are going to a mobile shop and asking for a recharge, they may record your number, they may have your number. If he is a known person, there is no issue. If you are going somewhere unknown city and you are asking them to recharge, they may have your number, and they will follow you, and they will send unwanted messages. They may call you frequently to irritate you or to communicate with you. That is one kind of data theft. And debit card cloning, that is one more activity. So you are going to a ATM and you are putting your ATM card and taking money. That is, in that time, nowadays it is happening so frequently. So they are having skimming device. Using the skimming device, they may clone your ATM card, and once you enter the PIN number, they may record it. Or if you are sharing your ATM card PIN number to anyone very close, even they may very familiar to you, those people also can misuse your data. That is one kind of criminal activity. And one more thing is there, keylogger. Keylogger is a software. If suppose I am the criminal, I am writing a code for keylogger and I am sending it to my best friend for my personal revenge through a email as an attachment. Or I'm sending through this software. It will be sent through email as an attachment. There may be another one, she may think, oh, I got mail from my friend. One immediately, without thinking anything, immediately they'll click the attachment. In that time, the keylogger software will be downloaded. Once it's downloaded, it will sit on your system, and it will started to record everything, whatever you are doing in your system, like stealing your login credentials, means username, password, and browsing history, everything. It steals everything and sending it to me. Using that information, I can hack your system. I can use your hard work. It may be a 5 years research work, or it may be a confidential data, whatever it may be. I can use those data for my personal revenge or personal financial gain. So these are all things is happening through the keylogger. It's a software. And SMS spoofing, call spoofing, those spoofing methods. Here, like online shopping, for SMS spoofing, you can say it as in a online shopping. If you are regular to a online shopping market, then sometimes they may send you the offers through mail or SMS. Like, so you are our respected customer. So for you, we have a customized offer plan. The handbag is on sale. Your favorite. You may search for the handbag for, well, last 3 months, and about the price you don't want to buy it. It is not affordable by you. So they may show you that. That means they already hacked your information from the online market or something. Okay, all the social media is selling our information, our searching patterns, frequent patterns, everything to the third party. So we can't believe, we can't say where they are getting all those data. We don't know about these things. Somehow they collected your data, and based on that, they are sending one request. It is, suppose it is from Amazon, so Amazon is sending you a message or mail. Once you see that message, what will you think? So Amazon is sending me a customized offer. I was searching for this handbag for 1 year, but it is 5,000 rupees. I can't afford it, so I left it. What now? What is the offer is? The handbags is only for you at the rupees of 500. You can buy maximum up to units. Then what will you do? You are ready to purchase 2 handbags, whether you want it or not. Then you have, it is only available on cash and delivery. The person will come and get you the money, or you they may send a link. You have to transfer the money. You have done right. After waiting a month or 2 months, you won't get the product. That is SMS spoofing. Call spoofing is some calls, anonymous calls, or you may get the call from your contact numbers. Suppose a woman is there, she got a call from her husband or son asking her to transfer money immediately, a large amount of money through due to some emergency. She'll see the number. It is it's a original number. Her husband number only. And what she'll think, okay, he needs money. The voice also is similar. That is her husband voice. Then she will transfer the money immediately. Again, she will call and ask about the updation, whether you got the money or not credited. Then that time he will say, what money, what happened, what credited, like that he will ask. That time only she will know she has been cheated. This is called spoofing. That means any numbers can be faked, any voice can be faked. That is one thing. And ransomware, that is another kind of fraud activity in social media. Ransomware is, they may steal your information through some malicious software, whatever, keylogger, anything, and they'll using that information, they'll ask you money, right? Some large amount of money. Sometimes once you pay that money, they delete that information, or they will surrender that information to you. Otherwise, once you paid also, they won't uh, do those things. They are uploading the things, or still they are threatening you. It may be continued. That is ransomware. Um, and cyber stalking is already known, that following you using your informations. And picture morphing, so you know very well about picture morphing. It has been exploited in all most of the cinemas. So it mostly the girls are getting affected by this picture morphing. And you should be very careful about your sharing your pictures. Don't upload the very clear pictures. Don't upload more pictures. That will be the precaution. You can't stop these things. And profile hacking, it's again the forgery, like identity theft. Right? Your profile and we can, if I have the authentication to access my university software, my credentials has been stolen and used my credentials. They may stealing the university information. They may use my profile, my authentication to steal the data. So better you use virtual keyboard whenever you are accessing the information, confidential informations or secret information. Better use virtual keyboard and just follow the safety measures whatever has been given. If you are creating a password, then use all combinations. Not only don't give a single word for easy memorization. Give multiple words, and with a combination of special characters and numbers, you just give try all those things, then only it will be safe. And you just change the password frequently. That is better thing. Otherwise and you should have different passwords for different medias. Different for mail access, you can have one password, and for banking application, you can have different password. Don't use same password for all the logins. So that is also a risk thing. And job call letter. So nowadays we are searching jobs through the professional networks and all other employment websites, Naukri, all other websites are there. We are updating all our information, like what is your birth date to till what you are doing now, where are you, what is your project, everything we are updating in that in that media. Sometimes they may send you the call letter through your mail. The information may be taken by the criminals from the legitimate websites too. They may crack the websites and they may access all the data. And you will get a call letter to your mail. And once you are reading that mail, they may call you somewhere to attend the interview. The salary may be 6 digit, 7 digit. For this attractive salary from the reputed company call letter, you will definitely go and attend that interview. But you are going to the place, you don't know about that place, whatever it may be, and what is going to happen, that we are don't know about these things. So you should be very careful about these things. You should inquire the attractive scams. So you should be update yourself by these attractive scams. Then only you can escape from this. Otherwise, it is full of criminals. Cyber in social media, it's very unsafe. So you should be careful about yourself. Not even though the authorities, the cyber crime cell, police, whoever is there to safeguard you, but still you are the only person can save yourself. And one more threat is deep fake. Deep fake is you have the original video, and deep fakes is a technique. They can superimpose your audio, your message, or your voice, or your image to a original video. The video is original. They can superimpose any fake uh, informations, like about a person who is not present in that particular meeting, but they may superimpose their exact details. They may taken from their social media or anywhere. They may superimpose to their original video, and it will be exploited. So these are all the things we have, and more informations, or we can speak about the cyber crime. So what is the solution about this? We have to report about these things first. Okay. So we have to report all these cyber criminal activities immediately to save you, and take the safety measures, and to save others also. So that is very important. So care before you share, and once you got cheated, just inform the authorities and take necessary actions. Thank you, sir. I think I took more time. Sorry for
No,
this.
madam,
Okay.
your
Thanks
speech
for the
is
opportunity.
your speech has been exhaustive. Uh, if I were to summarize your speech, the last words that you said, care before you share, is what in cyber world. And cybercrime, you're classified into various departments, right from a debit card to a social media to a photograph. And I'm sure as technology grows, the threat also grows. We have to see the both sides of a coin, and where we are taking one side, we are able to take the goodness of the technology. There is also a danger of the back, and hence you have extremely taken every bit of corner on the cyber crimes. I'm sure this half an hour is not sufficient for us. We will definitely come back to you after speaking with Indian Bank to see whether we can have more awareness camps through you. And also, the bank would be interested to have a clean image. So, we need to have this cyber crime awareness being done, and it is initiated aptly in this Vigilance Awareness Week. So, we have to not we should not share anything. We should be very careful in sharing, and that too in social medias we need to be very careful. Your debit cards, your OTPs, never click anything and everything. Madam, it was exhaustive. On behalf of the Indian Bank and Hindu Tamil Thisai, let me thank you. But stay on. If there is any questions, we will come back to you, madam. Thank you for this wonderful information on cybercrime practices and where we should go and report. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. Hindu Tamil Thisai and Indian Bank. On the Vigilance Awareness Week, we are aptly doing this webinar to keep the society well informed of what is happening in the space of corruption and also in the cyber crimes. So here we need to have a person who would have seen good and bad of everything in the society. He is none other than our retired Judge S. Ravi Shankar, who's very much in the legal side. He did his schooling in Sainik School. See his medal right from the very beginning. Sainik School, Amravati Nagar, near Udumalpet. He had a passion for law, and he completed his law completed a law in Law College, Chennai. Did his ML in Madras University. He has an MPhil in International Law from Jawaharlal Jain University, Delhi. He thereafter practiced law in the office of Justice A.R. Lakshman and Mr. A.R.L. Sundaresan at High Court of Madras. This practices has given him more insights into judiciary. Nearly 20 years he has gone through all this grilling for seeing the good and bad and delivering lot of justice to the society. Mr. Ravi Shankar got his retirement lastly, and he served as the additional district judge Tirunelveli. Through all his services, he is seen both good, bad, best, and worst. Then he thought he must serve the society and started his own consultancy firm, and he also headed the Bharat Gaurav train scheme for South Star Rail. Sir, I should not be in between you and the public to say what is corruption, and definitely we welcome you to deliver Say No to Corruption, Commit to Nation through this webinar, sir. All yours.
Thank you, Mr. Rajkumar.
Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Good evening to Mr. Vishal Kumar, Chief Vigilance Officer, and Dr. Sindhya. Both of you had a wonderful speech and insight towards this corruption on this Vigilance Day. And good evening to all those who are attending this through YouTube live. I'm really glad that today is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's first Deputy Prime Minister, and he was the first Home Minister of the first cabinet. Today's birthday. I'm really glad and I'm privileged to address today. The Prime Minister of India, in his 76th Independence Day address, has targeted two challenges. One is about corruption prevailing in the society and the nepotism prevailing among the political parties. He has addressed that these two issues has to be urgently addressed to curb these menaces. And we all know that corruption is a significant problem in the world and especially in India. We are all dreaming for a corruption-free world. From time immemorial, in one form or other, the corruption has been existing. And no exception, corruption is in India also existing from long years and long period. The main issue about this corruption is the link between the bureaucrats, the politicians, the criminals are responsible for the corruption in India. Bribes were given the previous day because things were wrong. But bribes are compensated now for even doing the right things in the society. There are social corruption like misweighting of goods, alteration, foodstuffs, different kinds of bribery has been predominant in the society and continuously been existing. For example, if there is a criminal offense and an affair has to be registered, to do the right thing, the complainant has to strive, and the accused not to include one of the accused's name also. So doing the right thing also, corruption exists. Wrong things. And for doing the right things, for example, one is approaching the auto office for license. He is eligible in all his traffic regulations. He's driving the car. In spite of that, he has to pay some kickbacks, pay some money to the auto office, and to get, even for getting the right license, he has to give something, and bribery exists. How to curb all these menaces? And we all know that India, there was an assessment, annual assessment by Transparency International that ranks about 180 countries. In 2023, India ranks 40 in the index points. Basically, corruption is a dishonest behavior by those in the positions of power. It starts with the tendency of using the public office for personal benefits. The corruption may be cash or kind. It is a form of dishonesty. And we all know that corruption does not exist only in government sector. It is also in private. It is also in public sector. And you know why the causes of corruption is there when India got independent? Do you think that the British gave us this idea of corruption to us and left this society? It was a slow process that evolved between the politicians and the bureaucrats, slowly need for the political funding, slowly need for building the political parties, and slowly from the top, slowly the corruption, idea of corruption and other things creeped down towards. That is a greed for money and desires. And there is no political transparency. There is a less freedom for the press to report on corruptions. Like that, we can say political instability, poverty, low level of education, unemployment. There are many causes. Large ethnic divisions, high levels of in-group favoritisms. So, these some of the factors everyone knows. Even the school children knows why the corruption is. When a country is corrupt, you know what is the impact of this corruption on people? There will be lack of quality service. There will be lack of proper justice. There will be poor health, hygiene, failure in genuine research and reporting, R&D. And even on society, there is a disregard for officials. People doesn't believe in official. People doesn't have an good faith. It may be any government official. It may be RDO, it may be BAO, it may be inspector, or it may be sub-inspector. In a police station or in, if you enter into a taluk office, definitely there will be one or two who are very good, or maybe maximum good, or one or two may be corrupted. But people lose faith in it. There is a lack of respect towards the government. They lack faith and trust in the government. Aversion of joining the post linked to corruption also is there. So, what will be the impact on the economy? There will be decrease in foreign investment. You know, there is a lot of wide range of reporting in the paper. Many foreign countries, companies doesn't want to invest their factories or companies in certain states. They were going only behind certain states. Because of the lack of this transparency in the government, there will be delayed growth. That is a lack of development also. So these are addresses that corruption we are speaking about for years and years together, and we'll be keep on speaking about corruption years and years together. See, the corruption prevailing in civil servants is a predominant civil services is also one of the main factors, because the top level bureaucrats, politicians, they should be transparent. They should not politicize the civil services. For those who are attached with certain political parties are posted in a good posting. Those who are attached with the other party will be posted the next change of power. There will be administrative delays, lower wages. There are many reasons. There is a enforcement of law will be weak in enforcing a corrupt-free society. So to curb all these things, we are now we have crossed more than 75 years of independence. But only past 20 years or 25 so, we speak about curbing the menace. There are certain legal framework. It has been done to prevent the corruption. Prevention of Corruption Act has been enacted. Prevention of Money Laundering Act in 2002. The Companies Act and Indian Penal Code also has many provisions. The Benami Transaction Act 1988. Apart from this, see, the Indian judiciary is finding it difficult to convict the persons who have been charged for the corruption charges because lack of evidence. The interest the police or the vigilance authority or the vigilance agency show in filing the charge sheet are not shown in conducting the case in a proper manner and bringing to. So even the slightest 1%, 2%, there is an evidence prima facie. The judiciary doesn't hesitate to convict them. And it has been reported widely in papers by the media about the conviction of officials. And a lot of politician also has been recently, a lot of conviction has been granted by the court. So court has played a big deterrence to the corruptive persons. And apart from this, there are regulatory frameworks. The Lokpal, Ayukta, but Lokayukta and all implemented in all states. How far it's functioning, we don't know. Because the public are not aware what is this. There is no awareness. Just we are celebrating this Vigilance Awareness Week every year. Doesn't bring any change in the general public about their knowledge about the what are various regulatory frameworks the government has done. Then there is a Central Vigilance Commission, which makes a lot of reports, which files a lot of papers, and has reported a lot of how the corruption is going on in every department. I will just read out in the bank, because since Indian Bank has been today one of the organizers of this, I'll say a few words about the Central Vigilance Commission, how the bank frauds has been and bank corruption has been existing. And there are also many criminal amendment acts. And I like to bring to you, everyone who are listening here, about the recommendations of the second ARC. ARC is nothing but Administrative Reforms Commission. It is an advisory body in India, made several comprehensive recommendations to address the issue of corruption and improve the integrity and efficiency of the public administration. These recommendations aim to prevent corruption and enhance transparency and accountability in government operating. Mr. Vishal also told about the transparent accountability in his speech widely. Hence, the key recommendations made by second ARC, I will just shortly brief it, with shortage of time. Strengthening anti-corruption measures are like Whistleblower Protection Act 2014. But we don't know what is this act. Only after preparing for this seminar, I came to know about this. Then there is Central Vigilance Commission, Central Bureau of Investigation. CBI is the one authority which files FIR or investigates corruption in banks, public sectors, and others. And reducing the discretion. Standard operating procedures should be used in all departments. For example, a big person in public, he may be a doctor, leading doctor in a particular place. He may have a case in a court. He may appear that day, and his lawyer will go and tell to the bench clerk before sitting before him, you call this case first, because he has to go to the clinic, patients are waiting, some operations are like that. And grease his palm, his case will be called. He'll be new case 2022 or 23. Whereas a guy having a case from 1999 or 2000 will be standing outside waiting when his case will be called. His case may be called anytime. So what you should do, you can't go and stop whether he is calling this or that, he is calling in a shortage, in between. You can't do anything. A judge cannot. Only thing is you have to create a system. A system in such that old case should be called first, new case should be called at the last. Yeah, the old case person will be coming to the court for many years. So you should be first called. Those cases have to be disposed. So that should be the aim. So wherever, in not only court, in a bank or in maybe in a police station or in a revenue authority, wherever, a system has to be done. See, several measures the government all taking in RDO to give issue license. In spite of that, many malpractices are happening in a registration office, sub-registrar's office, in a revenue office, because negligence in continuing the system. System will be imposed by the higher authorities of the government, but they know whether they follow or not, we don't know. They should be scrupulously followed, the system. They should not bypass the system. And brokers should not be allowed inside. Only these brokers break the systems. And you got to promote a ethical governance. Citizens should be given an awareness campaign. So what and how to teach importance of this ethics in preventing corruption is the next question. You have to establish a moral boundaries, as moral standards among the officials, maybe private, maybe government, maybe public sector. You have to promote accountability. What is meant by accountability? For example, it's scenario to banks. If a bank is a manager is giving a loan for 5 lakhs, he gets a guarantee, but all will be bogus documents, bogus guarantee. If then automatically the loan will be defaulted and slowly it will be in a bad funds. Yes, banks are making those managers accountable. But what are the effective measures? How many bad debts has been claimed through them? Some system has to be noted here. Some system has to be frameworked. And you have to build a trust between the stakeholders. And there should be a reputation to establish a reputation. Let me also come to another. As I said earlier, corruption is not only in government sectors and public sectors. It is also in private sectors. Why it is existing in private sectors? Kickbacks, bribes, corporate frauds, collusion among private entities, inside trading and cartels among the company top heads are generally recognized as criminal offenses. Though by national law, still there is a practice of corruptive practices by the private. A simple example I will tell you how it exists in private. One of the company X delivers some goods worth rupees 10 lakhs to B company. The B company has to pay the 10 lakhs to the X company. To make that payment, the accountant has to cooperate. Accountant has to settle the bills and he has to pass the bills. And he has to take it to the MD, get signed the check. For passing of this 10 lakhs from B company to X company, the X company officials or manager or the owner has to pay minimum 5 to 7%, 2 to 7%. I'm sure he has to pay for the 10 lakhs. Then only he will put up the bills, he will take up the matter to his MD. Like this, there are a lot of things in the private, especially in medical field. These pharmaceutical companies corrupting the doctor's mind. They got to see, for example, there will be on a very good better tablet, but he will not market that. Whereas the similar tablet will not have much effect. They will be much charged in the market and more commissions to the doctors. This is an indirect corruption. All the corruption at the end of the day, where it goes, it affects only general public. And this corruption in private sectors affects not only this entire supply chain is order, distorts the market, undermines the competition, increase the cost. It prevents a fair and efficient private sector, reduces the quality of products. Then how to stop this corruption in private sector? Yeah, integrity in the business companies has to be promoted by the government. Business that act with integrity demonstrate better economic and social environmental leadership and performance like that. So the government has to uphold such companies' integrity and assure citizens that the government is working in their interest, not just for a selected few, but entire private sector has to be made accountable. And the government has to appreciate the good companies and find out the black sheeps in the private companies. And today, the main agenda is on the bank. Because the Indian Bank has organized this vigilance awareness campaign. And thank you, Indian Bank and Hindu at this juncture. The Central Vigilance Commission has initiated a report that there are top 100 bank frauds which are classified and analyzed and into 13 sectors. Mainly these 13 sectors involved in bank frauds, gem jewelry, manufacturing industry, agro, media, aviation, service and projects, discounting the checks, major frauds, discounting the checks, trading, information technology, export, that is another. This releasing of the OD, then some LC, all these things. I have witnessed so many cases in this. I'll tell you one example how it is done. One A have a fictitious company. B, name of the company is B, in Noida, Delhi, or somewhere remote place. Actually, as is the address, bank opening, all will be frauds. Nothing will exist there except the bank account. Here, showing that LC and other things, he will get a loan, and here he will give a collateral. Collateral also false, falsely created a collateral, and based on the collateral, the bank will issue loan, and the credit facility will be available, and it will be paid to the company in Noida. And he will never repay the loan. And the bank will, it will be all colliding together. Everyone, advocate, that appraiser who went and appraised that land, the person who involved in giving a certificate, valuation certificate, the managers involved, and their manager, that bank, all will be colliding together, and crores of rupees. I have a case in hand. It is running it is from 2007 till date, more than 1 crore principal amount not settled to the bank. Still all are hands free. No action is taken against one. Police could not take any action. No legal action taken by the bank. Nothing, because the manager who gave this loan would have influenced the inquiring authority of the higher official. So the link is going beyond, and everyone knows about it. Not that I have to tell, everyone knows. And these fixed deposits also, there will be many fixed deposits. It can be scrutinized into these frauds. Then demand loans, letter of comfort. These are 13 which the Central Vigilance Commission has addressed. Chronic. See, the main modus operandi of these banks is that the companies deliberately inflate the valuation of the diamonds or other goods or anything, materials, with a malafide intention to avail higher credit facility from the lender. It may be bank or it may be anything, and also indicate the security overage over and above. The exposed bills, which also remained unpaid on due date, were purchased by the consortium banks. Simultaneously, the distribution of cash flow and the details of the receivable debtors submitted by the companies to the bank in order to avail credit facility appear to be manipulated, false and fabricated, all colluding. It is not only the receiver of the loan alone can be pointed out. All be colluding. See, without collusion, nothing can happen. So they have to open their eyes and see, because it's all public money. The companies acted cleverly to avail all this pre-shipment credit, insular panic credit loans. Also, many companies resort to availing post-shipment finances by discounting export bills. All these things only with malafide intention, and regular practice has been violated. And hence, I think this is a good opportunity. I have exceeded my limit of timing. I think one thing I just, before closing, I like to tell everyone that in one of the occasion when our former President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, went, the school children asked, what we will do to curb the menace of corruption. Our doctor, former president, stated that first the corrupt fever should be you and your father. It should start from your family. You have to be happy with what your father earns, and you should pledge yourself that you will not pay for corruption, or you will not receive any corruptive practices. involved in any corruptive process. Unless that this home ethics is established in each home in India, corruption cannot be. It will be always in the table of debate. Years will come, years will go. Every year we'll be celebrating this. We'll be making this vigilance awareness program, all other things. I think already I have attended, I have given a speech in customs. And one thing I want to just point out that the corruption does not mean it's only public involved. There are certain many departments where there no public is involved. For example, this railways and other things. There also prevails corruption. We all think that corruption is only in the police, corruption is only in the revenue department, corruption only in RDO, in a research. But there are many departments which are highly corruptive, but public may not know. So unless we have an ethics at home that pledge that I will never corrupt anyone, I will also not be corrupting. Unless this attitude comes, it will be always a debating factor, and deterrence should be stronger, and legislative intention should be stronger. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. That was wonderful on the legal front of how the uh, legal frameworks are there and so on. Sir, you have already set a benchmark by telling we should start fighting corruption right from the home level. And I'm sure this message taken together will definitely start to pave a way to eradicate corruption from India. While you said 75 years has passed and we have only started to work from 20 years, I'm sure in another 20 years, this country will move from the 40th index point to at least between a number between 1 and 5. And I'm sure such awareness programs only will pave way work, and it will pave way for people to at least think and proceed in the right direction. This is why this week is being celebrated as Vigilance Awareness Week. It doesn't get over by this week, and hence Vigilance Department is all there in PSUs, government, and also now private parties have started doing this vigilance. Sir, your speech will enable the finer points that you have touched upon, and I'm sure not only RTO office, not only police stations, not only the politicians, bureaucrats. I'm sure the society as a whole will join together and pull this, and we will definitely see a day when there is corruption-free India, and we will put our flags on the high. Sir, this webinar has been an eye opener, and on the third series of this Vigilance Awareness Week, it has been definitely enriching with knowledge from the cybercrime and also from the corruption, sir. Sir, final words from our CVO, if at all we need to take this into action. Your words of wisdom on the final note, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rajkumar. Thank you for convening this program in such a lively manner. And I am really uh, surprised by the talk given by our Sri Ravi Shankar sir, retired district judge, and Dr. Sindhya Lingaswamy for her speech on cyber security. Particularly, Mr. Ravi Shankar has given certain thought-provoking points for us regarding this bank fraud that we are witnessing day in day out, and we are trying to fight on various fronts on this matter. Regarding private sector, also you have touched upon the ethics that is missing in certain aspects with respect to private sector. I also feel the same way, and many a times this lack of ethics is creating problems for the banks also when they lend to those companies which do not follow the correct corporate governance. Regarding this frauds and the after effect I think in most of the cases where frauds have been encountered by the banks, mostly bankers suffer a lot, uh, even if they are involved in certain cases. But in many a times, due to borrowers' greed, bankers are subjected to a lot of victimization, and many times they are the only persons uh, who have been felt proved guilty for those frauds. And the fraudsters, mainly borrowers, get scot free due to their influences with a lot of powers behind them. So these are some of the issues that we are facing as a banker. A lot of decisions we are taking on day in day out basis with respect to lending, with respect to one-time settlements, with respect to deposit mobilization, onboarding of customers, where there is a lot of risk is involved. And that is why I have said that in my speech also, that we are in the epicenter of the fraud prevention mechanism that we are trying to the government is also very particular about. So thank you very much, sir, for your very thought provoking address. And I think whatever has been deliberated during this 1.5 hour session, that will be very fruitful and very useful for our viewers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The final words of wisdom and the final touch upon was really interesting, which means there is a keen observance on this webinar. And system in place will definitely erode corruption. So let me thank on behalf of the Hindu Tamil and the Indian Bank for the viewers, and also let me thank Indian Bank for allowing us to bring in the wonderful speakers, Dr. Sindhija Lingaswamy and Sindhya Lingaswamy, and the retired judge, Sri S. Ravi Shankar. On behalf of the Indian Bank, let me again thank all the viewers who have tuned into this YouTube. This will be live forever, and it's an evergreen information that we need to be careful of the cyber as well as on the corruption. We take proud in presenting this webinar to the public, and may we connect again in another deliberation. Until then, let us sign off and give a very big thank you to the officials at the corporate office who have continuously worked with us in putting this webinar together, right from the DGM, Mr. Malini Kumar there, and we have the Vinod, our officer there, and all the CCD people there from the Indian Bank. Pleasant evening to all of you, and thank you to all of you.